So my name is Michaela. I work in the Software and Application Support Center with Steven, Anchika, and Rob. So we're going to quickly run through virtual classroom today. We're going to go through most of the basics, everything you need to know to have your class online or do your lecture and save it later. I just want to stress the importance of using virtual classroom right now. I know there's a lot of professors who are hoping to use Zoom or other programs. I would even be using virtual classroom for this session if I could, but it just wouldn't be possible. It would create some crazy mirroring effects. But it's really important that we use it because Brightspace keeps a log of everything we do. And therefore, if any student need to appeal something later on, or we needed to go back and track what was happening, Brightspace is the only way we're able to help you do that. If it's being done on an outside platform, we can't necessarily help with that kind of thing. So to get started, what you always want to do is obviously use the waffle button to go to your course. And then we're going to go over to virtual classroom. So the first thing you see in virtual classroom is your landing page. You have all of your active meetings, which are any meetings that are either scheduled for the future, going on now, or being processed after they've been saved. And then you have all of your recorded meetings, which are all the ones that you recorded and saved. And they're all going to sit there pretty much forever for you until you delete them. So the first thing we need to do is click our schedule meeting button down here in the corner. So we'll click on that. We need to give our session a title. So I'm just going to call it SASC 1200 Lecture 1. I recommend using the name of your course. Students are going to have a lot of these sessions start popping up in their Brightspace, and it's easy for them to get confused which ones are which. You can set a meeting date and a time if you wish, or what I'm going to do now is just click do it now. You then need to go in and set your maximum duration. I would recommend making it a little bit longer than your actual classes, just in case something goes wrong, you need to change something. You can have it repeat if you'd like. I wouldn't, since we don't have a lot of classes left right now, but it's good to know for the future, the summer or something. And then you have 4 options here. So you have the option to automatically record the meeting, which I would recommend you do if you have students who can't be there right away, or you want everyone to be able to watch it later. If you do want them to watch it later, you have to be able to publish the recorded meeting. The third one is allow external participants. This is if you have a guest speaker who's supposed to come to class, or someone who's not able to, doesn't have a SMU address, they'll need this option. To turn it on, it will give you a private link that you can send to that person to participate. And then the last option is invite entire class. If you'd like all of your students to be there at the same time you're lecturing, like it's a real class in person, you're going to need to invite your entire class so that they see it and they know it's coming. If you turn this off, that gives you the option to go in, record your lecture as you would, save it and post it for later without any students being involved. It'll depend on how you'd like to have your classes set up. So once you have all this ready, you're going to go in and hit save. So what this has done is added this lecture to our active meetings list. This is the one we just created, but I'm going to use this one for the demo because I already have some students in there. So what you're going to do is you're going to click the 3 buttons on the side, the action buttons, and click launch. You can, if the meeting is set for a later date, you can edit it. You can also cancel it if you need, but once it's open, it's open. You click launch. So launch will bring you to this meeting lobby. This is where students will be stuck until you enter the room. You have to enter first, and then the students will be able to go in after you. There's a lot of information here, a lot of drop-down menus that you can look at. I'll let you read that on your own time. Most of it's just pre-checks, tips on using it. Most of it we're going to cover here anyway. The one thing I will point out is if you are doing a live lecture and students aren't able to access the internet, they can call in and listen to you talk. They won't be able to see your lecture, unfortunately, but they can still hear what you're saying. Just keep in mind, anyone not in Canada will incur long distance charges for that. The one other thing I want to mention here is making sure you're using headphones instead of your regular speaker mic on your computer. It just prevents the echo from happening, so you can't hear yourself talking behind the scenes. So once you're ready, you're going to hit enter meeting room. It'll take a minute to load. So every time you come to a new page, you're going to go through this little what would you like to join with message. If you need to talk, most likely you will, you're going to click the microphone. Most of your students will be listening only, unless you have a session where they need to participate. So click the microphone. You'll likely need to allow it in your browser, and then it's going to get you to do an echo test. The goal of the echo test is that it does echo. You should be able to hear yourself. Yes, I have done the echo test. I can hear myself talking, and that's how it knows that it's working. It's counterintuitive, but it's the way it's going to work. So I'm going to go around the screen with all the different options that we see here, starting down here, and we'll work all the way around. So the first thing we see is our mute unmute button. It's expanding right now because I'm talking, so that's how you know that it's hearing you.
Michaela?
Yes.
I don't know if this is the case for everyone else, but I actually have the bottom part is cut off. Is there any way for you to scroll up the display you have, or for me to fix things at my end?
Hold on, let me change something real quick on mine.
Thank you.
Oh. I'm just trying to see if I can lock. I think it's because I have my taskbar unlocked, so it goes down. Are you able to see it now?
No.
I think it's the Zoom thingies that hide the buttons from the virtual classroom.
Oh, I see what you mean. When I minimize the screen, are you able to see it?
Yes, better.
Okay.
Now they're about half there.
Okay, I'll talk about the bottom like this, and then I'll re-expand it after.
Okay.
All right, so the first one you see it's a little picture of your microphone, and it's kind of like pulsating because it knows you're talking. To click that, you'd mute yourself. If you have another student talking or presenting, it'd be a good idea to do that. And you just click it back. This one here, it's saying leave audio. It's a little picture of a phone with a cross through it. If you leave your audio, you won't be able to hear, they won't be able to hear you, so I don't recommend it. Your third one is your video menu option. So if you wanted your students to see you and you have a webcam, you can click that and then click share camera. I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm not looking all that great, but that will allow you to video conference face-to-face. It would work really well if you have a small class. And then the last option here is a little picture of your desktop, and it's saying share your screen. So if you have something running on your computer that you want your students to see, you can click this button and it will mimic what you see on your desktop in the virtual classroom. This works really well if you have 2 desktop monitors, because then you can have the virtual classroom open in one and what you want them to see open on the other. However, if you only have one, you're not gonna be able to see the virtual classroom anymore when you go to the other page. All right, so if I expand it back open like this, can you see the tools on the side?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's come on over here. So the first button at the top here is your tools. This is where it allows you to write messages, talk text. You can do all kinds of different shapes. You can use your pencil to draw here, or come right back to your pointer. If you want to undo your last annotation, the last thing you wrote, you can just click your undo button. To get rid of everything, you have your clear all annotations button here, and that brings it back to a blank page. Your last option here is multi-user mode. And so what that means is now your students are able to use their mouse and they'll have all these tools available to them to come onto the screen and do something. So if I'm a math teacher and I want to say, okay, what's 2 + 2? You can have the students come in and write the answer if they want. It will also, just like it's doing for me here, it will show who is on the screen with their name like that. Once you're done with that, just turn it right back off. All right, keep on moving. Sorry, I'm kind of flying through this. I'm using a free Zoom account right now because our other one is being used by Stephen for another session. So we're on a 40-minute time limit. So we're gonna come up to the top, the three dots at the top here. Those give us some more options. The first is our settings. So we're coming here. There's a lot of options in here. Not a lot of them matter. I recommend for this first, the application part. There's a chat that we're gonna look at in a minute. I recommend just turning off alerts for this, both the audio and the pop-up. If your chat is on, that's gonna get super annoying if you have a lot of students in your class. There's also options for closed captioning. If one of your students need this, send us an email at SAS. I'm not entirely sure if it works, how well it works, how it works, but if they need it, we'll look into it as soon as possible. But otherwise, just leave it off. For data saving, this is really if you're in a rural area somewhere without good Wi-Fi, you can turn off all cameras and turn off the desktop sharing options, and that keeps it from using too much internet all at once. This participants tab is really what we're here for. This is allowing you to lock out participants' microphones, cameras, and the chat. Right now, it's all locked. They can't use their camera, they can't use their microphone, their chat, or the private chat. If you want to turn these features on, you can come in and put the check mark in them. I recommend at least keeping the camera and the microphone off. If you're going to be doing like group discussions or something, you can turn it on and ask everyone to mute themselves. So yeah, green check mark means they're on. And advanced settings, just leave that off, it's okay. So if you've made changes, you'll want to hit save. And now those are kept like that. This little green thing's telling you how good your internet is. It gives you some speed knowledge and stuff. Don't worry about it. This is telling you that you're recording, or if you're not, it's going to tell you it's not recording. I can click it and it will stop recording for me, or I can click it again and it will start again. And you can see the little notifications telling me those things. We're recommending to profs that they do record their sessions in case they have students who have left the country, they're in a different time zone, they're working, they're not able to make the meeting time, et cetera, et cetera. This here will become it will become a button in a moment when we're going to change another setting, but right now it's just the title of your class. And then over in this corner, we have our users list. So you'll see yourself, this little blue button means that you're the moderator and you're the presenter. That means you're in control and you're the one that's speaking. This is demo student number 1. You'll see all of your students listed here. And when you click on a student, you have some options. You can do a private chat with them, so it's just you and them speaking. If you're doing class presentations, you can make them the presenter, and that will give them all of the options that you had. And then when they're done presenting, you can just remove, or it's not, what am I trying to do? Bring you back to yourself and make presenter, and that will give you all your options back. Students are also able to react, or you are as well, as set your status. And it's a little ridiculous, but the thumbs up could be useful if you're trying to make sure everyone can hear you. It'll show up here. Otherwise, don't worry about it too much. Clear status gets rid of that. You can also find your public chat here. If this is on, anything sent here, everyone in the group will be able to see. This is good if students want to discuss among themselves what you're talking about. Or if you want to have like a conversation without 200 microphones on at the same time, this would be good. All right, so we'll click the little person there and get rid of that. So I've saved.
Michaela, question.
Sure.
When you record the session, if there is a public chat ongoing, will that become part of the recording? Yes, it will. And I'll show you how that all shows on a recording after as well. It's kind of neat the way it breaks it down. All right, so the best for last is our action button. This is where all the good stuff happens. Most importantly, this is where we can upload a presentation. So if we click this button, we can browse files. And I'm really quickly just gonna find a PDF or something I can throw up there. I'll throw, okay, I'll do this picture here. So what's happening is it's going, as soon as I click start, it's gonna start this upload. This can be your PowerPoint, this can be a PDF, it can be a picture. There's a lot of different files that happen.
And as soon as it's loaded, it's going to come in, and this is what students are going to see now. If this were a PowerPoint, you'd be able to click through the slides. And as well, just like before on the whiteboard page, you still have all your tool options. So I can come in and I can circle this and say, this is what we're talking about, or this is what I mean, things like that. If you want to have multiple files, you can also do that. So this is my picture that I wanted to show the students, but I also have a presentation. It can also be here. If I want to go back to the whiteboard, I just have to change the check mark and click start, and we'll be right back here. And it saves any annotations that you've made and continues on like that. Automatically, you get 10 slides of whiteboard like this. We've already had some profs saying, like, especially in math or different places like that, that won't be enough for them. A good trick around this would be to upload a PowerPoint that is just 100 blank slides. And then you can click through that slideshow instead of this standard whiteboard, and use that as your whiteboard instead. So then you have some other options up in this actions button as well. You can initiate a poll. So you'll click the poll button. You have all these options of the different kinds of polls you do, or you can create your own. Let's say I want to do a true or false question, create. So I have to either have the question on the PowerPoint or on the whiteboard, or I have to say it aloud. Once I have initiated the poll, you'll see back here, the students are able to click true or false. And as they do that, your percentages will start to change. You'll see people responding. Once they're done, you have two options. You can either record that information in your notebook for yourself and close the poll, or you can close and publish results. And that will bring it down here for everyone to see. And that will stay there until you want to get rid of it, and you can just undo and clear the annotation. It's pretty informal for a poll. It's not going to be anything good for testing or anything, but it gives you an idea of what people are seeing or doing. Our next option is the mute all. Get rid of everyone's microphone except for yours. If you have a lot of background noise going on, this is best. But if you ask them a question, you're then going to have to unmute them all before they can start speaking again. And then the last option in here is useful if you want to do group discussions. If they have topics that they need to discuss with certain people, you can create breakout rooms. So you'll click that button. You have some options in here. So you can go in and you can say, okay, I want 4 breakout rooms. Your max is 6. So it's not going to be great if you have a class of 150. The rooms aren't going to be that small. But let's say we want 4. I want it to be a 10-minute discussion. And then you'll have your list of students. It should automatically break up all your students into equal groups. And if you have students, you know, oh, I don't want Jimmy and Johnny to be in the same group, you can move them around to different rooms. If you have anyone who's not been assigned to a group, they'll be in this box here. And if when you hit create, they're not in a group, they'll be left in the main classroom where we just were. So once you're happy with who's in which group, you just have to hit create. And those students have been automatically sent to a new tab, a new classroom type setting, and with just the students in their breakout group. So if you want to move around and see the different groups, you just have to click your lecture button up here, your title, go to the group you'd like to see. Oh, come on. Sorry. Okay, he's in room 3. Okay, so then we're going to click join. And you want to join with your microphone so you can speak, or you could listen only. At this point, the students will be notified that you've joined the room, so you can't just sneak in. And do your echo test once more. And then you'll be in. And one of the students will be the moderator, so they'll have all these options and they're drawing on their own whiteboard and having their own discussion here. Once you're ready to leave this breakout room, you want to go talk to another group or whatever you want to do, you just click leave. Leave meeting. You can now close this tab, which I just need to see past my bar up the top, and then you're brought back to your original lecture room. And you can do this again and again and again as long as you need. Every time you enter a new room, you're going to have to go through your echo test again. So we set it for 10 minutes. It's been 5 minutes. I think they're all done discussing. So what I can do is come back down to my actions. and close all breakout rooms. This is automatically going to end all of their little individual meetings. They'll be prompted to close their tab and they'll end up right back here. So this is pretty much it for all the options you have when you're in the room. Other than this, you're just going to talk and students are going to listen, hopefully, and all of this is being recorded if you've chosen that. Once your meeting's done, does anyone have any questions about the options in here before I continue?
No.
No. Double check in the chat. Oh, I missed one from Charlene, sorry. If private chat is enabled, can they talk to each other or just the prof? If private chat is enabled, yes, they can speak to each other. So one student can click on another student's name and have their own conversation. All right. So once your meeting's over, you're gonna come to your ... buttons again, and you're gonna end the meeting. If you just leave, the meeting will continue and the students can just hang out here, which probably isn't ideal, especially if you're recording it. So you're gonna end meeting and end meeting. That will kick everyone out. It's all done. You can come up and close this tab now. Just exit out. All right. And then we're brought back to our virtual classroom page. Is everyone back on the Brightspace page with me?
Nope, it's just this meetings. Oh,
Yeah.
that is Brightspace, of
Yeah,
course.
okay, perfect.
Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so you'll be brought back here. This one here is the one we were just doing. So right now, this one's processing. We can't actually launch it again. It wouldn't let us. Depending on how long it was, that it's going to take about 30 minutes to process. It's uploading it to a secure cloud, and then it's re-downloading it and going to put it in a recorded meeting. Students see it as processing. It gives them a little sand clock, whatever it's called. And then once it is available, they'll be able to watch it. So students can access their recorded meetings from this menu, or you can put it in the content. So what you can do is you can come over here and click content. Let's say I want to put it in a new module called Virtual Classroom Lecture 1. So this is my module here. I'm going to click Add Existing Activities. I'm going to scroll down to Virtual Classroom. It'll take a minute. And then these are all the meetings that have been previously recorded. They've been saved and they're already ready to go be watched. So let's just take Lecture 6, for example. And now it's here for students to see. And I'll just show you what this looks like once it's been recorded. So I can click on this, students can click on this, and it will bring up their meeting. This black screen over here, if we are recording video or showing video, it would show it in here. This screen here, this is our whiteboard or PowerPoint, whatever it was we had going. It will, as this plays, it will start to change. You'll see where I was and what I was doing. If you had multiple slides, it would show it down here, and they would be able to actually click through it while they're listening to the presentation. And any chat that happened would be down here as well. So that's pretty much it for the Brightspace side of things. We have a few minutes now to take questions, if you have any. And I'm also going to show you our website real quick. So this is this, yes, sorry.
So I'd asked earlier about the chat showing up in the recording. And you said you would demonstrate that, but it's still not clear to me where that would show.
Oh, sorry. I'll come back to that. Let me.
Thank you.
Just let me head back there. Content. Let's go to this. So if we had sent anything in that chat, it would start to appear here, and it appears in real time. So if someone sent during the intro, if I had typed hi, it would appear there. I don't think I typed anything in the chat until like 30 minutes in, so we'd have to wait 30 minutes for it to appear, but it would come here, and you'd see in order everyone typing just like you would on YouTube or something.
Understood. And while you're on that screen,
yes.
So when you said over on the left, if there are multiple slides, students could go through them. But
yeah.
as as the recording is played, the slides get updated automatically?
Yeah, so if they haven't clicked anything down here or they're on the page that's supposed to be on for that particular second of the video, it will click through just as you would click
Right.
through when you're normally presenting. But they can also, it's like almost a separate feature. They can click through or jump back if they need to catch something quick and then go back to it.
Got it. Thank you.
No problem. Anything else while I'm here?
No, thank you so much, Michaela.
No problem. So I just want to show you our website real quick. This is studio.smu.ca/brightspace. Here we have all of the FAQ videos. Virtual classroom is everything right here. And it's pretty much everything I just went through. So if you want like a 1 minute, here's how to do this one feature, this is where you're going to go. I am also going to post the recording of this meeting that we're having right now on this web page here. So you just click here and you'll see it. And then finally, if you have students asking how to access virtual classroom or how to use it, these last 2 videos here will help them do that stuff. So resources for students, Brightspace videos, virtual classroom.
Excellent.
All right.
Mhm.
All right. That's pretty much all that I have. Are there any questions? Sorry,
No,
I see your
thank
chat.
you.
Yes, Kevin, it is recorded. So it'll be posted in probably about 30 minutes, okay?
Okay, super. Thank you so much, Michaela.
No problem.
Until the next meeting.
Yep. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
You too, bye.